Hello, everyone, or no one. Either way, hello. Hello, 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 hello. There's an echo, but there's no one here. Oh, God bless you. You showed up. Preetu says, hello, Meran. Hello, Preetu. Yeah, you definitely are first one. No, I was the first one. No, no one was here. Ah, look at that. Oh, we've got a little birdie in the middle of the ocean here. So how are you, Britu? Male 32 India. Thank you for that. It's as usual raining here in Vancouver. I would think that since we have this live stream every Saturday, 1 p.m., at least we tried to keep it as close as we could. For a long time, I would have expected like to see 100,000 people here lining up, but I guess not. We still are not um, popular, or rather known about. Pretu says we can have a one-to-one conversation. No, that's right. There's nobody here but you and I. Well, this tells me that everybody is happy and sorting out their problems in life, and the channel has done its job, and there's no more need for me. I could go on vacation now. Oh, I can't travel. You're going to be this first before you can travel. And forget that. So I won't travel. So, okay, it looks like that perhaps if YouTube would have some kind of a system where people could see each other on live streams, that would be good. Like what I can do with Zoom, which I'm planning to have that feature on my new site. My kind programmer is working on it, and hopefully, if he's not too busy, we'll have that done by the new year. Pretu says my mind is very distracted, very less focused. Well, it's like saying I can't run fast, or I don't play tennis so well, or when I go to the gym, I can't lift, a decent weight. What would you say to a person who would say such thing? You say, well, you got to practice running, and before that, you got to prepare your, your nutritional values, and you got to prepare for a good run by observing nutritional values, exercising, stretching, going to the gym, and strengthening your muscles, and so on. And then, in the case of then run short distances and build your muscles and build your speed. And so, in other words, you're talking about training. You're talking about teaching your muscles and your body to perform in a certain way in a certain sport. Then you talk about what needs to be done for tennis, what needs to be done in in the gym. You start with small, but you work it out, and then nutritional values, more training, and then you build muscles. Then you can lift heavier weights. So these are the processes that you always do in order to get better at something. But when it comes to concentration and so on, we just say, "Oh, I'm disturbed. I can't concentrate well." Who said that concentration comes with us when we are born? It's something to be trained as well. It has its own exercises, its own ways of strengthening your ability to concentrate, to be able to not be distracted. So even soldiers, when they want to be trained, they make lots of noise and distraction while the person is being trained for shooting to the target. So it won't be distracted. So it'll be used to all these distractions, but stays focused on his purpose and his mission, or whatever it is that he needs to concentrate on and accomplish. So you need to learn how to meditate. You need to learn what focus is all about, what are the mechanisms of focusing, and train your mind, you train your brain in order to know how focusing this technique is, and train it so it'll be automatically capable of focusing on some things when you want to, rather than distracting. This being distracted itself is focusing. You've learned to focus on what you don't want to focus, but you haven't learned to focus on what you want to focus. So that's why, because when you're reading something and something distracts you, so you're actually focusing on what's distracting you, that you're selecting to unleash your focusing abilities on something that you don't want to focus, but you don't unleash your focusing abilities on what you want to focus. So you're easily distracted rather than staying on. Focusing is not difficult, but staying focused is the key. This is why you train in meditation and learning how to keep mind and body coordinated, learn the technique about it. It's not because you don't know how to focus. Everybody knows how to focus, but seldom or hardly everybody knows how to stay focused. The key in power in martial arts or many other abilities is to stay focused. You've seen this exercise that I do in one of the invitations to speak at one of the universities, local universities, which I did a few years ago. I do an exercise where a student tries to lift me up, and then second later, same student and same me with nothing hanging on me, he can't lift me up, and he's bigger than me. Now, that is all about mind and body coordination and a focusing ability, but not about just focusing. It's about staying focused, because just as he's not able to lift me up, if I break focus on what it is that I'm supposed to be focusing on, I lose that ability and he will lift me up, because then no longer I'm mind and body coordinated. I'm not one with the nature. Coordination with the nature breaks down when the focusing on what you need to focus breaks down. So the key to strength and power is not just to learn how to focus, as everybody knows how to focus one way or another to some level. The key to the power is to remain focused. That needs exercise. That needs training. So what you're suffering is not that you don't know how to focus. You don't know how to notice. You don't know how to focus. You do, but you don't know how to remain focused. So when distraction happens, you focus on that. And another distraction, you'll focus from this to that one. So your staying ability on being focused is the problem, not knowing how to focus. Okay, having said that, I want to keep saying the same thing. So I have meditation exercises and focusing, I think, videos, I believe, I've discussed that there. So maybe you can find it, put meditate or something on the search engine of my channel and see what comes up. Preston Ridiculous says, hello, Preston. How have you been? Rafael Carmo says, my mind today is running to and through paths I don't like. Okay, if you don't like, why do you stay there? Run with it. Run out of the paths that you don't like. But the thing is, you say, I don't like this, but you stay on that path. When you don't like a thought, why you keep thinking about the thought that you don't like? If you don't like the thought, just pass on. Go on to the next thought. Bring a different image, a different memory, different topic, different task, something else that you would focus on. That means you pass by what you don't like. When you go to bazaar and you see different booths and presentations of products, well, you what you don't like and you're not interested to buy or bargain about, you pass by that booth, you pass by that little store because you don't like what is being sold there, or you have no interest, or you have no need for it, or whatever it is that you are not interested in that product. So what do? You don't stay there when you do. Oh, why are you staying here? Well, because I don't like this. But if you don't like it, you're not staying, right? You're right. So you move on. You never stop in front of the store that you don't like the products that they're presenting in there, do you? So why do you keep staying with the thought that you don't like, annoys you or disturbs you, or it's not of your liking, or not of in line with your values? So why you linger? Why you communicating with that thought? Why you exchanging, interchanging, interacting with that thought? Why you arguing with that thought that you don't like? Do you stop in the street and say, "Oh, I want to talk to that person that I really hate"? I don't like to. I want to, find out the phone number of that girl that I don't think she's for me, and I don't like her. I don't like the way she talks or walks or what she's dressed herself up and what she does. I don't like, but I want to. You don't go stand there and try to get to know someone that you don't like. What do? You pass by. You recognize that these are the people that you don't like, and you pass by. That's the end of your involvement with that what you don't like. Same thing with thoughts. Thoughts showed up, you don't like it, ignore it, go next thought. But what do? You stand there and try to kill the thought. You shouldn't be here. Why are you doing here? Well, I'm not interested in you. I'm not. What you're saying is bullshit. It's not true. It's not about me. It's not right. Why are you arguing with the thought? The thought is just a bunch of electronic exchanges and neurons that have created some kind of a illusion, an idea, a suggestion. And by you giving energy to it, you're turning it into from nothing to a topic. Ignore it, dies because it has no life. Your attention to thought gives it life. Don't give that life. You're the give and taker life of a thought. You're the boss, you're the master. You're the god of thought. You ignore it, they die. They suffocate out of no attention. So learn that. Then you train your brain to spit out things that you would be interested in, or at least continue process of things that you would be interested in, and stop the process of things that you ignore. That would be the training that you would do to your brain by this behavior towards different quality of thoughts. Otherwise, you cannot stop thoughts, and you should never stop thoughts. That's what the brain does. 80, 90,000 thoughts a day, all garbage and all unrelated and irrelevant to you. But because you pay attention to it and you think because it's been created in an apparatus that is mounted on your body, therefore it must mean something, or it must represent you, or it must have some kind of a deity or some kind of a mandate. It doesn't. It's bullshit. It's an organ that spits out, like your intestine, it farts. So you're not, fart. What kind of a quality is it? What did I eat? You have no interest in analyzing the fart. Same thing, thoughts, that you're not instigating them, that you're not purposely picking out a topic out of the consciousness and putting it in the apparatus of the brain and turning it into some kind of a thought for the purpose of advancement of whatever it is that you want to accomplish on that day. Those thoughts are simply are not your thoughts, are irrelevant to you. Only when you choose a topic from your consciousness and you purposely try to create some kind of apparatus or some kind of a process, a algorithm to create or calculate or design or produce or discuss or in detail some kind of a topic. Unless it's that, the rest of the thoughts that come to your head have got nothing to do with you. They're brain's thoughts. The apparatus of the brain itself makes thoughts. You also use the apparatus of the brain with the help of the material that seep through the consciousness to create a thought for your purposes. So you're the thought maker and you're the thought killer. How? By ignoring the thought, it just dies, it dissipates because it doesn't get your attention. But if you keep giving it attention, then it feels like you feel like that it's alive, it's got a purpose, it has a meaning, it has a power. Thought has no power. You're the one that can simply give it a power by your attention or take the power away by ignoring it. So learn how to ignore and then you'll clean up house. Easy. And after a while it becomes automatic. And Papa Kofi Obiredu, I hope I didn't butcher the name, says, thanks, great speaker. Oh, thank you. You're welcome. Um, Raphael, I hope that was helpful to you. Oh, someone is running through parts, and I guess I need rest and hope for a better day tomorrow. I don't know. It's not about the rest. It's about knowing what to do with what is of nuisance. What do you do? When a fly comes out, tries to sit on your face or your clothes or whizzes by, when you pay attention to it, but usually what do you do? Just swat it away. But it keeps coming, swat away, keeps coming. So eventually, this is a very small amount of energy you spend, and simply you not paying attention, trying to focus on what it is that you do. And eventually, a fly will go away because you didn't pay. But the next thing that some people do, they start following and running after the fly in the hope of destroying it. Sometimes they're successful, they destroy it. Sometimes for the next hour, they're running around and they can't find it, they hide somewhere, and you're still, even though it's not visible anymore, it's hidden somewhere, it's not bothering, it's not even into your face, but you're still occupied with it. So what did you do? By going after the fly, you created a situation for yourself that you weren't in it when you were just simply ignoring it, swatting it away. When you go after something that is irrelevant to you, then you give it certain kind of an importance and attention to the point that you become occupied with it. Something that wasn't really that important, wasn't occupying your time and your attention so much. Now you're dedicating your attention to it by going after it, trying to kill it, destroy it. And for that, now you have a purpose, the purpose of destroying it. And for that, you need to, hide somewhere, wait for it, and be on the attention. So your whole mind and thought will go towards something that you actually wanted to get rid of, to avoid. But now you created a man, now I got to kill it. Then you prepare for it and you become more focused on it, more focused on it. And then the thought that was actually irrelevant to you is now having a certain kind of a presence and importance to you because you want to get rid of it. Now, whatever your purpose is, you're paying attention to it. So the best thing is you simply keep doing the swatting, meaning pay no attention. A thought shows up, you're not interested, it's not within, in line with your values, you focus on something else. You keep on focusing on what you're focusing. That is like the swatting it away, and that's the easiest way. And eventually it'll dissipate because it doesn't receive your attention. It suffocates the thought when you ignore it rather than trying to destroy it and stop it from being created. No, let it be, but just ignore it. And David says, male 34, UK, says, I spoke before about my girlfriend of 2 years who broke up with me out of the blue and moved out. It's been 2 months now, and I am trying to focus on moving forward. David continues, but I can't stop myself from hoping she will come back, even though I know she won't. The fact I was so easily forgotten has made me question my own self-worth. Really? Your whole self-worth is dependent on what this chick thinks of you or remembers you or moves on or forgets you. That's it. Your whole life is dependent on some girl's opinion about you. That's it. Honestly, think about it. There are 8 billion people on this planet. Forget the universe, just this planet alone. Out of this 8 billion, probably 4 more billion are women. Out of this 4 more billion women, there's one of them that you think her opinion about you makes you or breaks you. Who the fuck is she? Who is this woman that is so great and amazing in qualities and have captured the essence of life that her views and opinion about you can tell you what your worth and value is? What has she accomplished in her life? How many children has she helped to come to success in life? How many older people has she fed and helped to health? How many diseased or unhealthy people she has helped back to health? How many good things she has done in life? How many things she has accomplished in life that she has made such an impression on you that she is a goddess of accomplishments, and her word and opinion about you worth something. What's her qualifications? Oh, she has a nice ass. So, in other words, you are dependent. Your worth and value dependent on someone's ass. Because she has a nice one, then she's qualified to make opinion about you, right? And that opinion is going to make or break you. Think about the garbage that you're feeding yourself. Hmm? Your whole day is hanging on the balance for this person to call you, give you value because she called. Who is she? What's the worth of her words? I hear her sound. Well, so what is her sound or her presence to you do? It gives me certain kind of a pleasure for intimacy. Okay. So pleasure fulfills your desire for intimacy. Whose desire? Your desire. So you're doing something. You want her in order to be fulfilled in some way and fulfill your desire. Who that desire belongs to? To you. So actually, you're wanting her for you, which means she's secondary in value to you because you give more value to yourself. That's why you pursue her because you want to make yourself feel good. So yourself is the actual star of the whole thing. And in this case, your desire is what you're really trying to serve. You know, through pleasure, you want to fulfill your desire. So it's about you, isn't it? So you love to serve your desire. It's not that you love her, it's you love yourself and you love your desire to be fulfilled. For that reason, you want her. So if you look at it really, the worth and value of yours is within you because you're trying to fulfill your desire. That's why you want her. So she's got really no real value as a primary value to you because all what you want about her to be with her is for you. So you're the boss, you're the most valuable to begin with or without her. And you can get whatever pleasure it is that you're seeking through another available volunteer that you two may hit it off and find things in common. If you see it clear, you will see that the worth and value and the echelon that you give to the girl that you are infatuated with, it's actually for the purpose of fulfilling your desire by pleasure, receiving pleasure. Your desire. That means you're doing it for you. That means you're the most important person. But you have been duped to think she's the most important person because you have an interest in her. But that interest is to satisfy you. And that's why you are the most important. That's why you can unleash this need or whatever it is you want to uh, experience through another entity that is willing to offer whatever it is that you're looking for. Hmm? Think about it. A little bit deep, but if you think about it, you will see that you have no problem moving on because you're your own boss and you're the most important person in the world to you, not her. You've made her to be her, but she's not really. You can replace her like that because what causes you to go after her is still with you. That hasn't left you. If your girlfriend leaves you, your desire for a girlfriend, your desire for intimacy, your desire to be happy, your desire to be to experience pleasure, your desire to fulfill your your needs still with you. So really nothing has left, and the sources, the resources to um, fulfill that for you is out there. It's not like she's the only source she left and you can't have that food. Hey, this restaurant doesn't have the food that you want or doesn't sell it to you, go to the next restaurant. You are the owner of the hunger. So you can take your hunger to another restaurant and they'll serve you. Okay, I hope you get the gist of it. So why are we so popular today? Only three? Only three people? Shameful. My live stream sucks, I think. Nobody, nobody, nobody needs this live stream. I think I should discontinue the whole damn thing. Shameful. I've never seen a live stream in the whole history of YouTube with four people in it and with all this hoopla. Oh, you're such a good channel. It's so helpful. Where the hell are you guys then? Sometimes I do live stream at 12 o'clock or 1 o'clock, midnight, after midnight. And suddenly we have like 15, 20 people there. But when we do it at a decent hours, nobody's there. And that tells me a lot, doesn't it? Well, well, drink the goddamn tea at least. I know what you're thinking. Mmm, and what a tea. Organic, decaf green, ultra mellow, decaffeinated green tea, decaffeinated. Saying decaffeinated a few times just in case I miss it. Is it decaffeinated? Naturally decaffeinated. When you start talking about the label of a tea in your live stream, that means the live stream is really going well. Very popular. Mhm. Uh, okay, four whopping people, or whopping four people. All right. Everybody knows that we have a live stream at 1 p.m. Vancouver time every week, Saturdays. But I don't know what else to do to inform people that we're here. Okay, we are shrinking as we are waiting instead of increasing in the number. We're actually going down. We're five, then we're four, now we're three. Soon we'll be minus. That means even I wouldn't be here. It'll just be the wall. It's a very successful program on this channel. It's a live stream that is just people crawling to ask their questions. And the Mr. Airfall says shrinking as waiting. Is that a six life metaphor? No, only if you're in a cold pool, then that will happen. But it just means shrinking in numbers. Where's your head at, Mr. Airfall? It's the first time you're here, Airfall, or Mr. Airfall, or the Mr. Anyhow, remember you're welcome to be here, but remember we have a protocol. We need to know gender, age, and where you're tuning in from. Just like David up there says, male or M for male, 34 and UK. So gender, age, and where you're tuning in from. That'll give me a little bit of information on demographics and how properly address you when I want to respond to your questions or comments, and a little cultural background by knowing where you're tuning in from. So, and says, yes, I recently found your videos. Okay, male 27, Chechnya, Czechoslovakia. Is it, what is it? Czechia. Could you kindly help me out to locate Czechia or Czechia, if you will? Yes, Czechia used to be Czechoslovakia. Ah, okay. All right. Thank you. Thank you for that. Czechia. Oh, I see. All right. And Talk 78 says, I need help about HOCD, sir. Well, look, Talk, I've got hundreds, literally hundreds of videos on OCD and subsets of OCD, especially HOCD. Extensive research and discussions with many links of well-known psychotherapists and psychologists and researchers and neuroscientists and uh, speakers in regards to neuroscience of habits like Dr. Schwartz, and the experiences that Dr. Anne Grable with her postgraduate study student um, Kyle Smith, I think. And I have reflected all those with, along with my extensive research on the movement of the psyche and thoughts and consciousness and the relationship between the two, and how thought is formed, the relationship between thought and consciousness, and many other things that you need to know about your psyche to understand repetitive thoughts, intrusive thoughts, and the origin of it. It's already on the video, I mean, on the channel. There are two major uh, playlists that I have created for you guys. One is interpretation of different thoughts when one is hit with HOCD, and that is called intrusive, transient, OCD, HOCD, negative thoughts. And the other playlist is called intrusive, OCD, HOCD short videos. And none of them are short, but the second playlist is focusing on showing you, and I've proven it with philosophical point of views and scientific point of views, um, about the separation of the brain and you, that you're not the brain and brain is not you, and how how precisely I've helped you to see the separation with evidence and some exercise for you to actually see that you're outside You're not part of the brain. You're outside of the brain. Brain is an apparatus working for you. And I've proven it in the exercise that I showed in regards to an experiment was done in a quantum physics laboratory. And I have used part of that and an exercise in your own brain, how you can do it, how you can see it, very simple, that you are outside of the brain. Brain is not you and you're not the brain. So knowing the separation of the brain, you, and the thoughts that you make and the thoughts that the brain makes will set you free to know that HOCD and subsets of OCD, these are all malfunctions of the brain, not any change in you. Thoughts by itself cannot change you. Nothing can change you. You're built the way you're built. And the rest of it is a malfunction that if you don't understand it, then you will be convinced of something that you're not. Talk 7 years says, I know, sir, but nothing make me feel better since Sunday. I live hell on earth. I cry every day. But I'm sorry, I just mentioned to you that all what you need is available. All the knowledge that you need to understand that what you're going through, yes, is hell, but it's not true. The brain is making you believe it's true, so you react to something that you've been convinced that is true, but it's not true. So you need to open your eyes and educate yourself about the malfunction of the signaling system of the brain to understand that what is being suggested to you is not in line with your true values, and it's just bullshit trying to convince you of something that you're totally not. HOCD attacks is always opposite of what you are. So whatever HOCD is suggesting to you, you can be damn sure you're opposite of what it's suggesting to you that you are. That's all. Simple. But there's a lot more that I've explained that can help you. But you gotta be patient to educate yourself. Instead, you guys want some kind of an injection or some kind of a formula that you can use it and boom, done. Like all these most bullshit channels that try to help you to get out of your breakups or your mental issues by some kind of a jinx or formula or algorithm or bullshit. You need to train it. You need to understand and educate yourself about your psyche, the movement of the psyche, and then go through the process of education of it. When it's clear for you how you're put together, then it's very easy for you to understand what's attacking you is not relevant to you. And then you understand where it is coming from. It's a malfunction of the brain. So otherwise, I can spend 2 months to help you to go over these videos. No, the videos are there for you to go through them. So you take one or two videos, not all of them, don't binge watching them. One or two videos a day, and you think about it and process it and let yourself become specialist in that which you're trying to understand and manage and deal with. Then you, through your behavior towards these thoughts, you will rewire the malfunctioning brain to come back to its normal self as it was designed for you and operate as it always did and should in your case. And stop crying. This is not something that is you or whatnot. It's a glitch. It's a attack. It's a malfunction. Nothing else is happening to you. So, and you can get in touch with your psychologists and then ask them questions, but they have to be specialized in OCD and OCD subsets. Otherwise, not every psychologist knows what they're talking about when it comes to OCD or subsets of OCD, such as HOCD, harm OCD, pedophile OCD, and so on and so forth. And Talk 78, don't forget the protocol, age, gender, where you're tuning in from. I wonder why people, after hundreds of times mentioning, forget to do that. Talk 78 says, okay, I will watch your videos, but right now it's hard. I have a thing in the throat. I don't know what that means. This is the least populated live stream I've ever had because we're approaching 1 hour and there are only 5 people here. We've never had this number after 50 minutes into the live stream. Talk, I mentioned that we need to know your age, gender, and where you're tuning in from. Talk says, like I feel anxious and I have a thing in the throat. I really don't know what that means. You have a thing in your throat, but if it relates to being anxious and anxiety, it's because you have believed something that has been suggested to you instead of learning about the bullshit. You are believing the bullshit. Why? Because you're not listening. You think because you have a brain mounted on your head, whatever comes out of this brain, it refers and it's a reliable source about you. It's not. Brain is the most stupid part of you. Brain is not your intellect. It's an apparatus, it's a machine, makes thoughts. 80, 90,000 thoughts a day. And most of them, if not all of them, are irrelevant to you. But you pay attention to them because it comes from the head and you've been brainwashed since childhood. The brain is smart. What it says is true. It's logics and everything. So it's all bullshit. Brain is no different than your intestines. Your intestine takes food, generates energy, and the rest of it is like feces. You go shit it out in the bathroom. Brain too constantly makes thoughts. All kind of information gets in there. It doesn't understand what they are. It just makes thought of them. It just knows how to make thoughts, but none of them are relevant to you. So it just creates feces, and you're supposed to ignore. You understand the biological way of getting rid of the residues. You go to the toilet and do your business and flush it and wash yourself and come out. But when brain comes up with garbage and residues and feces because of its function during the day, every mechanical electronic machine has an energy that it has an exhaust. It turns something to something useful, possibly for what it is designed to do, and then has an exhaust because of that operation and that activity. The brain's intrusive thoughts is the exhaust of the brain, but you treat them as if they have any meaning, or you're supposed to take them seriously as if they have any values. No, they're like what you go in the toilet and flush out. It produces thoughts irrelevant to you, flush out and move on. Don't pay attention to them. You understand how to get rid of the feces from the biological standpoint, but you fail to understand that also you got to have a mechanism to flush out the garbage that the brain causes. That's just another part of you, but it's just not biological, it's virtual. And you believe the virtual has no physical evidence to it, but you believe it. Why? Because the brain's world is virtual, and to the brain, virtual and actual has no difference. It cannot distinguish between actuality and virtuality. So when a thought shows up in the world of virtuality of the brain, and brain having been made in a virtual world itself is a virtual, so it believes the virtual thought and treats them as an actual, and has your body react to it actually to a virtual suggestion. And then you can't deal with it because it's virtual. It's nothing physical about it to push away. And you try to destroy it, but it keeps like a sponge come back on as a thought. And you go crazy because you're paying attention to something that really doesn't exist. It's just an image. It's just a thought. It has no presence or existence, but you treat it as it does. And that's going to mess you up. That's going to mess you up. All right. I hope you understand that. Anyhow, you got to be patient. There's no shortcuts. You got to study and research and learn the role of amygdala, the role of anxiety, role of prefrontal cortex, role of hippocampus, and all these in interpretation of the thinking brain and the emotional brain. When the emotional brain comes up with some garbage and the thinking brain cannot have it stand down and cannot explain it, or when it does explain it, you don't pay attention to it, the emotional brain starts making the body react to something that doesn't even exist because the interpretation of it was not complete from the thinking brain. Anyhow, that's a long story. You remember, all of you can go and watch the links of the psychologists and psychotherapists that I put on the description of my videos regarding to OCD and HOCD. And you can always go to my site, mindthatseekstruth.com, mindthatseekstruth.com. Make an appointment for our discussion on what's concerning you on Skype. And when you make a 1 hour appointment, I will throw in another hour for new clients, and we'll have 2 hours, plenty of time to get to know and discuss the topic that is concerning you one on one on Skype. I just put the link for the site in case you guys would need to talk to me. Morgan Freelancer. Morgan, I know you've been here many times before, but I don't remember who comes from where, what age, and so on. So please include the same protocol as you always did. M for male, F for female, or however you signify your gender, age, and where you turn from. And Morgan says, should we avoid promiscuous women? Morgan says, male, 28, Ireland. Oh, thank you, Morgan. Morgan says, should we avoid promiscuous women or try to build a relationship with them? They may have been promiscuous before, but are they also promiscuous when they're in a relationship with you? I don't understand. How can you determine someone that gets to know you and she comes and tells you that, listen, I want to be in a relationship with you, but I'm promiscuous? How do you label her that way? Or how do you know that she is? Maybe she was. Maybe you know something about her. But is it true, or is it just something they say about her? If a woman doesn't want to be exclusive with you, why would you even bother? Why you try to change people who are not on their own voluntarily by their choice have selected a certain pathway and policy and behavior in life that would be compatible to yours? Why do you have to? Because she's probably pretty hot, and then you're putting up with everything else that is not right for your taste, for the hope of getting some of that. That's on you. So you got to have certain standards and see if they qualify and if they meet those standards that you have set when you want to choose a partner. Otherwise, we are men and we are visual. Anything that walks, looks fine, has got nice body and hair and breast and legs and butt and all that, we lose our sanity and we go after. But that shouldn't be where you stop and find and think that your requirements are fulfilled. You got to qualify, see what's in her consciousness. Do you guys have enough things in common? Because that's where the relationship takes place, in the consciousness, and bonding on the consciousness level. If that's not there, it doesn't matter how pretty she is or how good looking you are. You guys won't make it. We have talked about it before. So many good looking actors and hot looking actresses, they are both good looking, fit, and all that. They get together, they even get married, but then they get divorced. So if good looks is the foundation of a relationship, why do they get divorced? Because the looks are not where the relationship takes place. It's what between their ears, pretty much, so to speak. It's what's in their consciousness. The content of their consciousness and compatibility in between the two consciousness is what makes a relationship work or not work. So you gotta have certain standards that you would be looking for. Otherwise, everybody these days, everybody has a nice ass, and you know, big boobs and all made up and done and go to the gym and fit. And that's not an accomplishment. That's part of the accomplishment that every human being should be involved in to keep herself or himself healthy. But that's not supposed to be the criteria for finding a girlfriend. Okay, she's hot. Okay, what else? She's hot but stupid and crazy and dumb and no values and no morals. So what the fuck do you want to do with it? What do you want to build with this piece of shit? It looks good, but so what? Are you talking to the good looks? Are you interacting with the good looks? Are your policies for life is based on someone's looks? Or is it based on how she thinks, how she behaves, how she treats you, how you treat her, how you guys are compatible, what things you pursue in life, what manners, morals, levels, and standards you follow? If those are not present, I don't care how hot she is. She's worth shit. How many of them do you see on TikTok? All sexy and well. But do you really think that's enough to judge that they're all amazing partners, life partners? No, you gotta have standards and then get to know them, see if they're good enough or not. So I think you get the gist of it, Morgan. All right. David says, I feel one of the reasons I'm so hung up on this breakup is due to me having so much in common with her. Really? There's so much in common why she left. Obviously, you think you have things in common because she's probably somehow hot or somehow turns you on, and you're putting up with so much. And because of your desire to be fulfilled with the intimacy that you could have with her, you're putting up with all kind of shit, and you're closing your eyes on them, and you consider them, oh yeah, we're compatible because she likes apples and I like apple, and we like hiking. And these are all physical activities that you can have in common with so many people that their brain is full of shit and they got nothing in common with you on the consciousness level. But you considering all the physical things in common and activities in common as to be the things in common in consciousness. That's not going to work out. And then you're going to be surprised. Oh, we had so many things common. What? You both like pizza? Like movies? You would cuddle and watch movie? That's in common? That's an activity that you both enjoy. But what is the content of your consciousness, how you see life and what you pursue and what your values are? These are what really you guys should figure out if you have things in common on that level or not. Then we got something. But I bet you didn't have it. That's why you guys broke up. Jan K says, hi, Mary. That's a new name. It's first time you're here, Jan. Says, hi, Maron. I'm a few months after a breakup. Jan, I need your age, gender, where you're tuning in from. Obviously, I can tell some of it, but age and the country you come from, it would be helpful. Says, hi, Maron. I'm a few months after a breakup. I was on a date and it went fine. We went to bed. First date? First shot? Okay. All right. No comment. But I couldn't get it hard. Oh, Jan, so you're a man. That's why I need the fucking gender, guys. Give me the gender, give me the age, give me where you're tuning in from, because I can't tell from the names, different countries, different nationalities, different abbreviations, different screen names. I don't know. So, yeah, okay, there we go. Jan, male, 34, countries Poland. All right. So now let me read it again. It says, hi, Meran. I'm a few months after a breakup. I was on a date and it went fine. We went to bed. Okay, congratulations. But I couldn't get it hard. All right. Take a cucumber with you next time. So, what do you want me to do? What do you expect from this channel here? We don't provide that kind of a service here. The hell with you. He says, he says, he says, I think the fact that I was dumped really damaged my self-confidence. What do you, what to do? Are you just so fucked up about nothing? What's got it to do with your dick? She left you, she lost her chances to be with you. That's how you should think. The fact is that you've given such an echelon to a woman who you have been in a relationship with, not based on her amazing performance or character or accomplishment in life, based on the fact that you have a need for intimacy, for sex, and that can be facilitated by her. So suddenly you gave her the echelon. Now she has left because when she was with you, you being of selfish, species, we all are. So you made her a goddess because you wanted to make yourself a god. That I am with this woman. And because I have to be the best of the best in the world, then I'm going to make her that I'm with the best of the best in the world. So you started pumping it up in your own head and with your friends. Oh, she's amazing. She's great. Oh, she's the best. She's so smart, so sexy, so hot. So you build her up in order to make yourself feel like you're such a, hot stud, that you got this amazing woman with you, showing off with your own mind and pleasing yourself. And you bought into the bullshit that you fed yourself in order to make yourself feel good in front of your friends or yourself alone. And then now that she's left, you actually believe, oh, I lost the biggest chance of my life. I lost the princess. I lost the hottest thing in life. I lost the most amazing. No, you gave her all that echelons. Because if she was any good, she wouldn't have left. She would still be there with you, right? So the fact that she has left broken up, that means she didn't, it wasn't working. And if it wasn't working, she can't be the greatest, because the greatest cannot be something that doesn't work. So why does she benefit from that kind of a reputation in your mind? Because you gave it to her. Now you bought into it. Now she left. You think you actually lost something really amazing. The credentials that you give to women for no reason is all based on sex. What else has she accomplished in your life and helped you accomplish that has given her this deserving status that she's all that great? But other than you got what you wanted from her, what else has she done to convince you that she's all that? The whole world has stopped because she has left you, because she's the most amazing thing. She still has to wear shoes. She still has to get up, wash her face, and she still has to shit and eat and work to make ends meet. That's your God? To the point that you can't fuck another woman? You can't get it up? It's all up here. You created that nonsense in your head about her to be, oh, she's my worth and value. Now that she's lost, I can't be between her legs, therefore I'm nothing. That's your makeup of the image you've created for yourself, not the true self of yours, not the one who actually is negotiating life in you. Your soul is not this. You created this bullshit and you believed in it. Undo it. Look at her actuality. What is she? What has she accomplished to deserve all these credentials? What has she done for the world? What has she done for the elderly? Who has she cured? How many children she has helped feed? Who has she rescued? So what's the amazement of it? It's all because she's an instrument to fulfill your desire for pleasure. And the fact that she has become part of your mechanical process during the day, which collectively creates that routine, which creates that order in life, and she's become part of the order of your life. And you've become used to that order. And in that order, which is making your life to go certain according to certain schedule and sequence, your mind finds security. Now that it's broken up, she's no longer there. So therefore, the order has broken up because you're not engaged in the mechanical processes that you actually every day were, that she was included in. So she's not there. The mechanical process is not happening as it happened before. The order is not happening as it happened before. And your mind is not feeling secure because the mind finds security in the order of life. Now you keep going into the memory to remember the order, how it was to feel secure. And in the memory, she exists. And also the prerequisites for the desire to be created also recorded in the memory and exist. So when you see her in the memory, also the prerequisites for desire refresh themselves, even though nobody is around. She's not around, and it's not really true. So the desire is refreshed, desire is reborn, and then you think you're missing her. But in fact, you're missing an order. To the point that you're so preoccupied with her that you have connected her to your worth and value in life so wrongfully. So, to the point that when you're in the presence of another beautiful woman who graciously has given her body to you, you're fucking thinking about the bullshit of the person who actually is not serving you, is not giving you what you want, and you're disrespecting the woman that you're with instead of pleasing her, instead of appreciating her, and knowing that life has given you a wonderful, beautiful flower to enjoy. And instead, you're thinking about some kind of a fucking cactus somewhere. Yeah. The one that leaves you is a cactus. The one that is with you is a rose petals, is a rose flower. That's the one you should focus on. That's the one that's going to give you life energy. That's the woman to cherish, the one who's with you, not the one who's left you. The one who left you is going to be left in the dust. Gone, finished. You had their choice. One way or another, whatever reason it didn't work, you respect their choice and respect yourself as well. Move on and serve another woman. You're there. You're a man. You're there to serve a woman. So the woman is there, is attending to you. You serve her. You cherish her. You worship her. Be into her. Focus on her. Bring your mind and body together. The reason you couldn't get it up was because your body was there, your mind was this, what this was with this loser, which you created a winner out of a loser, and then you bought into it. So change all these narrative and appreciate what the universe is giving you. Another woman to go on a date with. That's the one you should cherish and appreciate and love, even momentarily. That's okay. All right. All right. All right. All right. Saz M. Can I please have the credentials at the beginning of your questions, guys and girls? Like before you say hi, Mehran, just say, I don't know, M or F, age, and then where you're tuning in from, which country. Jan says, good point. Thank you. You're quite welcome, but do it. Don't just hear me, you know? Go take that girl second date and just make it up to her. Like, be such a gentleman. Buy her flowers and appreciate her and whatever. Just see her for her actuality. She is the reality of your life. She's there. You're valuing something that is not there, not giving you what you want, and devaluating someone who's actually there and presenting to you what you desire. That's no way of appreciating her by thinking about somebody else. Okay. Saz, 22 years old, France. So sorry. Okay. Male also. Okay. So M, 22 France. As simple as that. God damn it. M, 22 France. Is that so hard? Okay. Bonjour, monsieur. Comment ça va aujourd'hui? Or ce soir? And he says, Saz says, hi, Miran. Just quick question about HOCD. This can make like we begun to like men and how to discern it between coming out and just HOCD. This is a bit suspect. No, 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 no. You have no idea what HOCD is, and you're interpreting it as being confused that this is a denial, or you're already making conclusions. First learn about HOCD, and then you'll see that you're dealing with HOCD and you're not necessarily gay. But you got to learn about what it is that you can make an opinion about it. If you've been interested in girls your life, you're not going to change. You're born the way you're born. If you're born homosexual, you're homosexual for the rest of your life. You're born heterosexual, you're heterosexual the rest of your life. It doesn't matter what comes to your head. This is not what made your gender. Wow, I'm getting hurt here. The brain was not even put together when your heart and your genital and everything else was. You couldn't think. Your speaking ability was zero in the womb of your mom. Your thinking abilities was zero in the womb of your mom. You could not think. Thinking ability was not there. The brain was not even developed yet. How could it have anything to do with your gender? It didn't. Your inclination, your genitalia, your gender. It had nothing to do with thoughts, because thoughts weren't even available when you were being made in the womb of your mother. So if it wasn't involved in making you who you are and what your gender is, how could it have any fucking thing to do when you think it can change you? If thought didn't have anything to do with creating you, then how could it have anything to do with changing you? What kind of a bullshit is it that you guys go through and destroy yourselves by believing something that is just a malfunction of the signaling system of your brain? I've discussed this so many times in different videos. Learn about it. Learn about amygdala. Learn about anxiety. Learn about the malfunctioning of the signaling system of the brain. Learn about the striatum. Learn about the caudate nucleus. Learn about the automatic shut-off system of the intrusive thought that goes berserk and doesn't work as it always did. Everybody in the world, all 8 billion and so on, so 8 billion and whatever else is of us on this earth, we all have intrusive thoughts, all kind of nasty thoughts, possibly pedophilia, harm, killing someone, homosexuality, or if you're homosexual, heterosexuality, for each to his own. All these intrusive thoughts are in everybody's mind throughout the day. But what happens with the people who don't have OCD and don't have a malfunction in their signaling system of the brain, that caudate nucleus, which is designed to shut off intrusive thoughts, when it works well, the intrusive thought comes and they say, oh, what's that? And then say, that's nasty. And then quickly, the system shuts it off and they go about their day. But the ones who have a malfunction in the signaling system of the brain, OCD and HOCD and the rest of it, the caudate nucleus does not shut off automatically. It's gone a little bit out of whack. It's like pretty much a example of the automatic gear shift of a car, that you reach a certain speed and then it changes to the next gear. Or working it down. It's supposed to do automatically. And the caudate nucleus is designed to shut off this intrusive thoughts as they show up. But when that gear shift, automatic gear shift in the car example, doesn't work, you pretty much got to grab on the gear shift and place it into the system to change the gear. Same thing, when this shut-off system of intrusive thought malfunctions, you pretty much got to retrain and help the brain to understand and rewire itself so it can actually, your behavior toward the intrusive thought will actually get the signal to prefrontal cortex, get the signal to the place that it's supposed to go to shut off the continuation of this intrusive thoughts. It's just the automatic system is broken, not that you're changing. Hmm? Otherwise, these intrusive thoughts come to everyone's mind, but the automatic system shuts it down because it knows about your inner values and therefore it shuts it down. When it doesn't, there's a malfunction in that system. So you got to focus on how retrain the brain through neuroplasticity, through your behavior toward these intrusive thoughts, how to deal with them, to reprogram your brain and bring it back to the normal behavior that it was designed for you when you were being made and created. Hmm? So go ahead, watch all those videos and learn, and don't learn garbage out of internet. So much shit out there that confuses the hell out of you. I've placed many of the number of links of the neuroscientists and psychologists, well-known psychotherapists and psychologists such as Dr. Philipson, Dr. Jan Weiner, Dr. Schwartz, and all the experiences that neuroscientists and neurosurgeons have done to prove that the separation of the brain and you exist. That's why you should not believe what the brain conjures up. And I have a very interesting video that I created for you guys. It's a little long one, but it's very helpful in the information that you might be looking for. And then I would recommend watch this video, which is based on the research and the report that Dr. Ignar made on the experiences that neurosurgeons and neuroscientists such as Dr. Speary, uh, Dr. Penfield, Dr. Owen, and Dr. Leibet have done. And it's amazing to know how separate your brain and you are, and there are aspects of you and your mind that the brain cannot even reach, let alone be the one to change you. So if you understand that, then you'll be on the right track to deal with this nonsense that horrifies people, horrifies, and destroys lives if you don't understand what you're dealing with. Here's the link of that video, one of the many videos that I find it very helpful for you to show, that how to deal with the malfunction of the brain and understand the separation of brain's thoughts, you and your thoughts. Too late, says I already hurt myself now. I have a concussion now. Oh. Okay. Good. And Sam says, Sass is in French as well. Mais je ne parle pas français. Un petit peu. So I know enough French to put myself in trouble. Otherwise, I can't converse as fluent as in English. But if you say that you want to talk with me after the live, you can go to my site, mind@sixtruth.com. I put the link up there. Make an appointment for a Skype consultation, and you, as a new client, you book for 1 hour, and I will give you another hour, and then we'll discuss. But right after I have a meeting, I have another appointment. So pretty much I'd be available at 6:30 today, Vancouver time, until 8:30 today. And then I'm booked. And then I have other things to do. Otherwise, tomorrow after 1 p.m. Vancouver time, I'm available. But you can make any scheduling. Doesn't matter which day. We will modify it on Skype. Once you make an appointment, we'll figure out what works, what time, and what times I have available, and what would work for you. Saz says, yeah, I understand, because since the first lockdown, it developed this. At first, male was disgusting. Now it's like I begin to like. Well, that's how it works. What what it was disgusting. Thank you very much. She says, since can we speak French as well? Hmm. And, oh, I see. You're talking to Saz. Oh, I thought. All right. I'm sorry. I thought you were talking to me. All right. Carlos de Cruz says 34 male Belgium. Bonsoir, Meran. Bonsoir, Carlos. Says Meran, hope you're doing well. Greetings, my friend. Hello, and thank you very much for your greeting. I appreciate that. Same to you. And so, Lorenzo Tabasco says, when does the libido come back, sir? Libido hasn't gone anywhere. Your distraction, you're distracted. Your focus has gone somewhere. So, bring the focus back, deal with the distraction. The orchestra is still there playing. It's gone, it doesn't gone. But too many noise from the bus and the construction workers and the machineries and the traffic. It doesn't let you see the orchestra. Otherwise, orchestra is playing. Hasn't gone anywhere. And Julia Kowalski says, much love. And thank you very much. And love to you as well, dear. And help me to know age and where you're tuning in from, Julia. And Lorenzo says, I have Furo. Okay, yeah. Maybe that's what we are talking about. Alec Arand says, Alec 26 United States. Thank you for that. Says, I got a second chance with the love of my life. Oh, why did you call her love of your life? You don't know. You know if she's love of your life 10, 20 years from now. It depends how she deals with you, treats you, and behaves and attends to her responsibility and duties and her portion of responsibilities in life. Why do you call someone the love of your life? You're horny for her. That's all. What has she done to qualify for that kind of echelon right now? At age 26, love of your life. How many love have you had? How many real serious correct selections have you had at age 26? The first one was maybe 17, 18. You still didn't know which end is up. And you just chose the hottest girl that you could find that would smile at you. Anything smile at you at that age, you say, oh, she's the best girl. Yeah. And then what, 21, 22? What else? You still don't know shit. And you call it love of your life. You're 26-year-old. You hardly know yourself, let alone knowing what kind of girl you really think is suitable for you. So hang on, slow down. You give her a certain echelon and you buy into it. You actually think she's love of your life. So when she leaves you, you're destroyed because you think I lost the love of my life. But no, wait 5 years and then see if she qualifies for that kind of a status. Anyhow, I got a second chance. Okay. So obviously, you've already set up that she's higher than you, she's better than you, and you're privileged to get a second chance. Why? What has she accomplished in life that makes you think she's so amazing person? Other than the fact that you like to be between her legs. What else? Has she taught you anything? Has she helped your education? Has she gotten you a job? Is she providing expertise for you to learn to feed yourself? What is it that makes her so amazing that already you think she's beyond you and you have a second chance? I want to knock this out of your heads, you guys, that you constantly confuse desire for intimacy with quality of a girl. It's two different things. You got to qualify her as much as they qualify you. But just because you have a need for intimacy with her and they can provide it, you already give them the higher ground. That they are better than you. Why? Because you need something from them. If you stop needing, then you will be able to open your eyes and see if they qualify to be in your presence and you dedicate your life or your time to them or not. You can't just judge people based on the fact that they're sexy and then, oh, she's hot, therefore she's best. Why? All right. Juliana says, I already did. You missed my message. Oh, did I now? Oh, sorry about that. Oh, there it is. I see it now. Oh, yes, 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 yes. You're right. I apologize. Let's go to Julia. Let me see if I finish Alex. And Alex says, second chance with the love of my life. And I ruined it again by lying and not learning from my mistake. Oh, that's on you then. She was way out of my league, and I don't think I'd find someone. Well, you learn from it and you move on and hope that you will not lie to the next relationship that you will have. So you can't just dwell on it now and sob and cry. Well, it's part of your learning process. Now you become a stronger and better qualified person for the next time. And that's it. Julia says, woman 21. Okay, thank you. Sorry, but I did not see it. That's why when I go through these lists and if I jump from one person's part of question to the next, I might be jumping over your question as well. So then I miss it. All right. So woman 21, Julia says, why I keep thinking about my toxic and gaslighting ex after almost 2 years while I'm in the relationship with the love of my life. So you have a new love and you're happy with him, but you're still thinking because she left, probably he left you, he broke up with you. And you were so young at the time. I don't know, 2 years ago, you were just 19. And that means when you met the guy, was you were probably 18, between 18 and 19 or earlier. So you were so fragile and expecting all that fantasy of movies, of love story and expectations. And you dedicated yourself as the kind of role model you had seen in the movies, a good woman and doing everything right and so on. And he wasn't the man enough to appreciate you because he was a child himself at that age and possibly went to another girl and you got hurt. I don't know what the story is. You haven't told me much, but that's probably uh, what I can sum up. Generality of the story. So you're hurt and you feel that the person who left you took some of your values with him, but it didn't. It actually left all your good values for you, and it was a blessing that he left because he didn't deserve you. So now you're with someone that all you need to do is to appreciate yourself, love yourself, give yourself the echelons that you deserve that the other person could not see it, was not mature enough to see it, was not entitled to see it, I guess, was not smart enough to see it, and therefore severed the relationship. And he was probably sick in the head too to gaslight and try to bamboozle you or try to mislead you and redirect you, misdirect you in order to satisfy himself because he knew deep in his own heart that he doesn't deserve you and he cannot offer you something of value. And because he knew he cannot offer you something value, he started tricking you, making you believe things that wasn't true and causing you to think he's better than you and trying to lead your mind and fool you. Why would you even think of an asshole like that? So prove the hypothesis that pretty girls are like assholes by not liking assholes and understanding an asshole is not worth thinking about. It doesn't have the qualities that should be considered because it's an asshole. You would firsthand know that he was an asshole, but You're still thinking about it. Why? Because your ego was shattered a little bit at that young age because the idiot probably left you. So, but I haven't heard anything from you about that relationship. So I can't really say anything out of my head. I can only assume, but I need a lot more detail in order to know what really happened between you and that guy to help you out. From you saying that he was gaslighting, that means he was sick in his head and he didn't have enough qualifications. So therefore, he tried to mislead you and fool you and control you by lying and doing weird things. And you were so young, you didn't know better. You would believe anything because you probably loved the guy. And at that age, loving someone doesn't mean he's qualified. It just means you're young and you can, you're open for emotional exchanges and you can love anybody who would be nice to you at that age. So it's not your fault. So let's see if you have added any information here that could help me to understand what happened. And Julia says, it's totally in a different way. I left him because I felt I was losing myself. I was no longer myself. But what you said about values is really true. Ah, okay. You left him because you were at least wise enough to see that this guy is fooling you, tricking you, bamboozling you, trying to dominate you, trying to lie to you, and you didn't know what was right, what was wrong, and you made the right decision and you left. So you did the right thing. What the hell is wrong with you then? What's there to think about? Hmm? Because you never were there to see the guy admit you didn't catch him in his lies, but you assumed, which was correct. You made the judgment that this guy is crazy and he's going to drive me crazy. I better move out of here, and you did out of that relationship, and that was very smart of you. But because you didn't see him admit to it, you still think, oh, maybe I was wrong. You were not wrong. You were absolutely right because you didn't have to see the evidence when you can feel the energy of a bad person. And often we make decisions in life based on our energy and our value standards of energy value. We feel people's energy before they actually speak because their energy and quality of energy is constantly automatically extended outwardly from them, whether they want it or not. They cannot hide that. They can hide their eyes, they can hide their facial expressions, they can hide their words, they can hide their opinion, but they cannot hide their energy. That is not in their control. And if you are sensitive enough, in tuned enough, trained enough, you will feel people's energy as soon as you walk in their space. And that is where we actually are blessed. And most often, without you even knowing that technique, you will pick out the bad energy and you move away from it naturally. And that's what you did. You were not trained to know people's energy, as many in this world have trained themselves, including myself, through the martial arts, and through university, through years of teaching it and meditating. You become in tuned with sensing the energies of things, trees, animal, people. And before they talk, you can tell it's a bad energy or not. Just a few nights ago on my walks on the ocean, I encountered such person. I quickly saw it and changed the course of the uh, approach and moved away. So in your case, because every human being automatically, instinctively, like animals, we feel energy of what's extended, what's coming toward us. From other animals, animals feel it, and from other living beings, they feel their energy. And we have that same instinct in some degrees as well, just like animals do. So we feel the bad energy, regardless if you're trained or not. And you felt it. It took a while for you to come to understanding that I don't care if I have a proof for it or not. I know there is a one bad energy coming out of this person, and you got to the point that you actually saved yourself instinctively. But because you weren't there to see the guy actually admit to his mistake, because you're now conditioned to hear words to believe something rather than relying on your senses and instinct to be sure that your judgment was correct. Because that has been like this a million years ago, but now we are relying on words and meanings of words and physical evidence, hmm, rather than actual clarity of the energy that tells us something is wrong. How often have you walked into some kind of a room or some kind of situation or some street that you don't have a good feeling and you don't want to continue? You got to trust that feeling and move on and go somewhere else. That's already telling you. That's your instinct. And you can train that. And in that instant, you eventually had come to that conclusion that this energy is here from this guy is bogus. I'm losing my mind because it's a bad environment for me to be able to develop my senses, and my sensors are telling me there's something wrong here. So on that basis, you made the right decision. So what's there to think? You made the right decision. You saved yourself. You don't have to see physical admission of guilt by that asshole in order to know for sure you were right. You were right for sure, and you made the right decision. So be proud of yourself and go on. There's no need for anything else to be sure of. That's why you're thinking about the guy, that because you think maybe I was wrong. No, you were not wrong. Your senses for energy doesn't make mistake. You did the right thing, and everything is cool about it now. Enjoy your life. Enjoy your life. Sarah says, thanks all. Have a good night or good day. Depends where you are. Thanks, Miran. Je vous en prie. And thank you for being here. And Alex says, Miran, you should have so many more subscribers. I know, Alec, but I don't. Isn't that funny? I don't know what's going on. I have no idea. I don't know what to do about it. Just pack up and go. Because I guess, I don't know, either we don't get, people don't find us, then they don't know our channel, or I don't know. I don't have tricks up my sleeve to entice people and try to push something and then give a little bit, not give enough so they come back. If I can help, I help. If not, it's not the appropriate place, too long of a discussion, then they got to make an appointment on Skype. And I say it right out. But as much as I can with the videos, 3,000 videos now on this channel, and God knows about 2,000 live streams. I don't know how many, at least 2,000, I think. I've answered as many questions as possibly I could in the past 11 years. But if you still don't have the numbers, I don't know what to do about it. If anybody knows, then let me know or do it. And Alex says, Miran, you should have so many more subscribers. From your life experience, what is the best advice you can give a 26-year-old male? Also, what motivates you to keep making videos and helping people? Just that, helping people. I really understand one of the biggest troubles for people, especially young or old, is here. This has duped us to think that this is us. And we got to understand that the brain is not you, you're not the brain. And the brain's thoughts are not your thoughts. So you should separate yourself from the brain and brain's thoughts and understand that you're the intellect, you're the awareness, you're it. Everything else works for you. But you are not what works for you. The brain works for you. It's part of your apparatus, is an organ. You're not the brain. Brain is not you. So you got to understand that and separate yourself from the brain in order to be free and healthy in mind and in body. That's my purpose. That's my motivation. Now, of course, I want to get it to a level that I don't have to pay my time, my attention to other things in life, so I can fully focus on this. And that would be my purpose in life from now on, from 10 years ago. It was 60 years in the making, I guess 55 years in the making. all the things that I went through in life and experiences and the studies and the research and atrocities, I mean, not atrocities, adversities and many challenges that happen in life, all that, and the things I learned, the things I read, the things I researched, the books I wrote, and all these researches and so on, and life experiences brought me to the point that eventually the current found me ready to pull me into this current, and I'm doing as best as I can. That's my motivation. So now, when we end up being big enough to have economic values also met, then I'll be fully focused on what I love to do, which is this. In regards to what I can tell a 26-year-old is something that I told myself and realized that sometimes, I think in my 30s. Live life in a way that you will enjoy it 2 times. Meaning, make decision, do things, get engaged with things, decide on things, activities, and actions in life. Live life in such a way that you will enjoy it 2 times. One is when you decide to do what you do, the judgments that you make to choose what you choose to do. And one is when you look back and you think and remember how you did what you did, how you lived, how you dealt with something, how you managed something, how you went through it. So one is what you do when you do it, and one life is when you remember what you did and how you treated or lived or functioned at one point in life. So you enjoy it once when you do it right, your best, doing your best when it's right in front of your face, whatever the situation or decision it is that you make or the activity. And one is when you think about it and you remember how you lived. You enjoy your life 2 times. All right, in other words, putting it in one sentence, think deep and judge well at all times of your life. All right. And Costas says, hello, why after a 3 year of toxic relationship, my mind is stuck with her? Because you're not focusing on her actuality, you're focusing on the pleasures that you would receive and the fact that you could fulfill your desire with the pleasure of intimacy and enjoyment of being around her, rather than focusing on who she was, how she treated you, how her consciousness was, and what kind of a level of bonding you had, unconscious level, if any. Instead, you're focusing on the intimacy and the pleasures and the physical interaction you had with her. And that seems to be what you use to qualify her. But if you see her actuality, maybe at one time she was all good for you at the beginning of your relationship. But right now, you're not seeing her actuality and the way she treats you and behaves with you, and the fact that she's broken up with you, and all who she is and how she behaves with you. You're not seeing her as her actuality. You are actually seeing her with the eye of the past, how she used to be. You're projecting that over how she is, which is not pleasant, but you cannot see her actuality as she is today because you're constantly bringing how she used to be and using that to see her rather than see who she is today, how she's treating you today, not how she did at one time. So you're stuck on that. If you look at her actuality, what she's doing, how she's treating you, also, I want to have nothing to do with this girl because she's not meeting the standards that I'm hoping for. And Realm says, your smile's contagious, sir. Thank you for everything. You're quite welcome. And let me know, guys, your gender, age, and where you're tuning in from. That helps me to know, what age group, what gender, which country, which cultural background. These all will help me a little bit to know what my demographics are. So don't forget, it's a comment, question, doesn't matter. Just three little things: M for male, F for female, or whatever you signify your gender by, and then age and where you're tuning in from. And Martin says, should you move on from someone? Martin, age, gender, where you're tuning in from. I'll get back to you. And John Gerard says, hi, Meran. Thanks for sharing your knowledge. It helps a lot. It helped a lot years ago. Much love. Thank you very much, John. I appreciate being here. Don't forget, remind me of your age and where you're tuning in from, please. And Martin, you do the same. I'll get to your question in a second. I'll be with you guys another maybe 10, 15 minutes. And Realm says, female, 32 UK. Thank you for that. I appreciate that. Very kind of you to be here and recognize what we do and enjoy. We always love to have positive, good people on this channel. Martin is male, 18 from UK. Thank you, Martin. Martin says, should you move on from someone you broke up with? If you don't want to move on, what do you have to do? If you broke up with someone, what do you want to do? Hang around? You broke up. Broke up. There's no reason to hang around. You break up. What's the next step? To move on. You don't want to break up and stay there. I'm breaking up, I'm not with you, but I just want to look at you. I mean, what the hell? Don't waste your time. And someone you broke up with. However, you still think there's a chance of getting back together. No, you move on. You move on. You're what? 18 years old. You hardly know which end is up right now about yourself. So don't think that you know it all and you've chosen this girl. She's the love of your life. She's most qualified. None of that shit. You're 18. You still got to go to college or whatever it is you want to learn a skill and make money and all that. You hardly know who you are yourself. You haven't figured that out yet. Your character, what you expect, and all these things. Your standards, and let alone knowing what kind of girl you're looking for. So at this point, you broke up, no problems. No problem whatsoever. You move on 100% with no chance of getting back to this girl. If it ever you guys grew up in a different maturity level and you ran into each other again, and if you guys could see that you actually meet each other's standards at that point in time, which you will be a different consciousness, because consciousness is dynamic and is moving on and is changing as we grow older, and the experiences of life modifies our consciousness. Then if you're still compatible, then you decide then. But at this point, you're not compatible, and definitely 100% full-heartedly move on to another girl and other possibilities, and learn from that and grow and advance and develop and so on and so forth. And then who knows what the future holds, but the chances are close to zero. And so don't fool yourself, because right now you're full of hormones, and you say, oh, she was the best one, I should hang around. There's a chance. Even if there's a chance, who the fuck is she? I mean, who are you going to be 2 years from now? Are you going to be the same person that you're actually trying to hold on to her for you 2 years from now, which you're not the same person as you are today, but you think you will still like this girl with the same qualities? In fact, 2 years from now, if she hasn't changed to better, you may actually say, what the hell is this? I never wanted this girl. It's maybe for me 2 years ago, but now 2-3 years later, I'm changed, a different person with different maturity and wisdom and different level of knowledge. I don't want to have some kind of a girl with these kind of qualifications, because these qualifications are not meeting my standards now. But at the moment, you have no qualifications to those standards, so almost any girl walk along with a little bit of a looks and nice look and fitness and all that, you will you say, oh, that's the one I wanted, because that's how it is. I know, I've been there. So cool it, move on 100%. Don't wait for any girl. When they break up with you, don't wait around ever. Move on. Never forget that. You give it all, you did your best. A girl leaves you. A girl who leaves you can never have the chance to come back. And if she did, you don't take her back. I know it's very tempting because sex and all that. Some weird guys, but don't. If you did your best and she left you, she's not reliable. Okay, so don't wait for a girl when she breaks up with you. She breaks up, that's the end of it. Move on. Next. Alex says, I hear so many people tell me they still are not over their ex after 5 years and still have regret of thinking they won't find anyone else. Why do you think that is? It's because they are confusing the connection in the conscious level and the physical needs that they have. And by nature, since I'm talking about us males, heterosexual male, I'm talking about heterosexual male. So, however it applies with others or not, I don't know. But we're talking about this particular instance. We think about sex every 30, 20, 10, or 5 seconds in our life. And because this is the constant concern and interest, automatically the last girl that we were with, or the girl that for somehow we had a wonderful relationship with, at least at one time during that relationship, but most often the last girlfriend that we were meaningful and with and intimate with will come to mind. You hardly think about your two girlfriends over when you are thinking about sex. You most often think about the most recent girlfriend that you had. Because if you can see, you're clearly over the two girlfriends over or three girlfriends past. But the one that comes to your mind is the most recent one because you haven't replaced it with another one. And by nature, the most recent relationship, intimate relationship that you had, that's the girl that comes to your mind when you think about sex. And we often think about it so many times a day when we're not busy. When your mind is on idle and you're sitting around having tea or whatnot, you'd be thinking about maybe every 10 seconds, every 5 seconds about sex or 30 seconds or whatever it is. But if you're busy, you won't. You will be doing your own thing. And with that, the most recent relationship, most recent girlfriend comes to mind. And then you think, oh, I haven't gotten over it. No, that's just the way it is. But if you think you haven't gotten over it because you just haven't replaced it and you're just fussing over something without really focusing on the value of what it is that you have given so much value to, the actual value of that thing is not your interest in her sexuality with her. The actual value is in her consciousness. But you're not focused on her consciousness and her values and how she treated you, how she interacted in that relationship. You're focused on that intimacy. And that's what makes you think, oh, I can't get over her. She was the right one. No, because you're focusing only on your need and desire for pleasure. When you go beyond that, then you see that you can easily move away from her because she didn't have the stuff that you needed to build a good relationship with. But you don't go that far. You just go as far as your sexual needs take you. And that is right to the most recent girlfriend that you had. Then it's you think, oh, I haven't gotten over her. No, you can never get over sex. And what you are actually hung on to is not on her, is to sex, the concept of sex. And because she was the most recent one and the most one that you can recent one that you can remember, you think it's her that you can't get over. No, you need sex. So go find another qualified uh, girl with qualifications in her consciousness, then you will easily move on. Easily. Martin says, thanks for advice. You're quite welcome. Okay, guys, I think we have hit all the questions, answered all the questions, and hopefully that you enjoyed as much as I did and you got something out of it. Perhaps, I'm not sure, maybe tonight at 1 p.m., 1 a.m. or 12 midnight or a little after, I'll have another live stream because it looks like at nights we hit a different time zone and different countries, and we hit Europe and Asia at the same time when it's my 12 o'clock or 1 a.m. in the morning. So I'll try again because last night we had numbers. And so in the meantime, if not next Saturday, but I'll try to have one tonight as well. So I look forward to talk to you again. If you're not, next Saturday. In the meantime, be good to yourself and to the others. I'll talk to you soon. Bye for now. Subscribe on my channel, visit my channel, and go through the videos that you might be interested in. Mind that seekstruth.com is making it one step away to talk to me one-on-one on Skype and discuss what's concerning you. I'll talk to you soon. But we too, like the iceberg, have 1,000 times bigger powers that is not visible, and we must. Why? Is it something we're rambling on and I expect you to accept it? Or is there actually another power within us? Would you come and help me out? Okay. What I want you to do is put your hands underneath my arms and just lift me up. There we go. Okay, now, that's my physical part, right? Same thing, again, with that. Just want to see if there's any difference. Go ahead. Now, go ahead. Now, this, go ahead, when you're ready.
Go ahead.
So you see, this is different than what he was doing, and I'm not really doing anything. You convinced?
Yeah.
So are you guys convinced that there is something other than, thank you. Thank you very much.